Good afternoon to all of you. Today, the third day of our workshop on human value, human excellence, and higher education. We are welcoming all of you. For today's program, I invite Dr. Navin Bhatt to conduct the program. Dr. Navin Bhatt, sir. Sai Ram.
Good afternoon, Sai Ram to everyone. Now we are on the third day of National Virtual Workshop on Human Values, Human Excellence and Higher Education, organized by IQAC, Vasanta College for Women, Rajghat, Varanasi, in collaboration with Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence, Kalaburgi, Karnataka. Now, I welcome our distinguished speaker, Dr. Ramurthy sir, all the students of Vasanta College and Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence and all participants to this workshop. We will begin the workshop by Veda chanting by Vedic Studies students of Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Ishavasya Vidagya Sarvayyatin Jagatyan Jagata Tena Jaktena Bhunjitamagrudharkasya Svidhanam Kurvanneveha Karmani Jiji Vishechatarbhyas Samaha Evan Tvayinanya Heto Stina Karma Lipyate Nale Asuryana Mate Loka Ante Natamasa Vrata Tagaste Pretya Vigachanti Eketa Mahalochana Ane Jade Kammana Sodaina Deva Manpuramashana Radhava Gonyanatte Tritishtattasmin Nagoma Karishva Tadhati Tade Taditanne Tadvidhadure Tadvantike Tadantarasya Sarvasya Tadu Sarvasyasya Varyataha Yastu Sarvāni Bhutanyatmanyeva Dupashyati Sarvabhuteshu Tatmanantato na Vijugupsate Yasmin Sarvāni Bhutanyatmaiva Bhutvijanataha Tatra Komo Bhaktashoka Ekatvamadhvashyataha Samaryaka Chukramakayama Pranamasna Viradvishuddhamapāpaviddham Kavekanishi Paribhosvayam Bhojyāt Tatyato Dhāngadadhācchāshvati Vyasamābhyaha Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Sai Ishwararpanamastu.
I thank all the Vedic study students for their wonderful rendering of Veda chanting. It is said, Ano Badrah Kratavo Yanto Vishvataha, which means, let noble thoughts come to us from all directions. So here, from the past 2 days, our renowned speakers are giving much more information about human values and excellence. Today's topic is human values in Bhagavad Gita. We all know that Bhagavad Gita is a handbook for values. Amongst us, we have Dr. Ramurthy sir, who has done his BSc, MA and BA. He joined as a science and maths teacher in 1975 and retired as a headmaster of high school from Sri Sathya Sai Lokaseva High School, Muddenahalli, Chikbalapur district, Karnataka on January 2014. Inspired by the guidance of the founder of Sri Sathya Sai Lokaseva group of institutions, late M. Narayan Bhatt, remained as a bachelor with a mission of life as Atma Kalyana and Loka Kalyana. Being devoted to Bhagawan Baba for more than 5 decades, now Sir is continuing as a trustee of Prashanti Balamandira Trust, which is under the leadership of Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai. Recently, by Swami's love and grace, he has completed more than 250 videos of online classes in maths, science subjects. Now, I request Sri Ramurthy sir to address the gathering.
Om Sri Sai Ram. Hearty welcome all of you to this session of values of Bhagavad Gita, human values in Bhagavad Gita. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavashinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Amba Tvamanasandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshini. We offer our heartfelt salutations at the lotus feet of Sai Krishna, who himself taught Narayanena Swayam. This holy Bhagavad Gita is taught by Lord Krishna himself to Arjuna. Arjuna is the question master and Lord Krishna is the master of masters. We are very lucky. Of course, all of us are also Arjunas or Prithvi Putras, because all of us have lot of problems what Arjuna also had, and attachments, desires, this and that. So let us just go into a small iota, because the whole Bhagavad Gita is an ocean. In that ocean, we'll see one drop of that in today's session. I am very happy to welcome you all. Let us start with the here there are 700 shlokas in Bhagavad Gita, and this is taken from Bhishma Parva of Mahabharata. And all of you know, I don't want to tell all the incident of the Mahabharata war, where the charioteer was Lord Krishna, and the chariot was brought between the armies of Kauravas and Pandavas. And before the war to begin, Arjuna, by seeing his kith and kin and his teachers and all his relatives, was so much confused, and he takes off all his weapons, and with all despondency, and he became frustrated, and he falls at the feet of Krishna to guide him, and that is how the Bhagavad Gita has come. The word Bhagavat means Lord, Gita means song. So song of the Lord, that is what Bhagavad Gita stands for. And the whole Bhagavad Gita starts from the Sanjaya explaining to Dhritarashtra. The first sloka is Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yutsavaha Mamakaha Pandavaschaiva Kimakurvat Sanjaya. First word is Dharma and last word is Mama. So it ends with Mama, starts with Dharma. So Bhagavad Gita tells about Mama Dharma, what we have to follow in our life. So that is the main teaching of Bhagavad Gita. And let us go one by one. We'll just have a look at it, and let's just try to get inspiration, and also let us try to follow what Lord Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita. And this chanting also, we can practice the chanting also in Anushtup Chanda. All the slokas can be told in Anushtup Chanda, wherein we have a correct rhythm to it. And if you know the meanings of the slokas, and if you understand the meanings of the slokas, that will be very much inspiring. So let us start in today's. And the first, as we have just now told you, there are 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita. and it is one of the Prasthanatrayas. There are three, important holy books. The first one is called Brahma Sutras, Upanishads, Brahma Sutras, and Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is one of the Prasthanatrayas, and here it is a very, very sacred book. And as you know, the main purpose of the Lord's avatar, yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhavati bharata abhyutthana madharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. That is a very, very, jewel of this Bhagavad Gita, which tells about the purpose of, avatars. So in this avatara, why the Lord incarnates? In this sloka it is told, so yada yada hi dharmasya, for the upliftment of dharma and for the transformation or for the changes in a dharma, Lord incarnates then and there. And paritranaya sadhunam, for the welfare of the sadhus, vinashaya cha duskritam. So when and why does God incarnate? So whenever there is decline in the righteousness and increase in the unrighteousness, O Arjuna, at that time I manifest myself on earth, says the Lord. So it is a very clarion call, not only for India, it's for the whole world. A day will come and the whole world will be following Sanatana Dharma. And this is a clarion call, and we are very lucky to be in this time wherein we have the Lord also. And Mahatma Gandhi ji told about the greatness of Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita, and he was calling it as Gita Mata. And in his ashram, he used to put the 2 chapters. Everybody has to learn. And Lord Shankaracharya also. Shankaracharya, Madhvacharya, and Sri Ramkrishna Paramahamsa, Mahatma Gandhi, Balagangadhara Tilak, and Albert Einstein also. After the Second World War is over, he also uplifted Indian culture and spirituality, especially about Bhagavad Gita. And the first word of Gita is Dharma, the last word of Gita is Mama. So Mama Dharma. So it tells about the divine constitution to mankind by the divine Lord. And it is actually about a moksha shastra. So why one should read Bhagavad Gita? Because it gives freedom from sorrow. And that is what is called moksha. Moha kshayave moksha. And it is a sacred text which helps mankind to free from sorrows. So knowingly or unknowingly, man is bound by different kind of sorrows. So daihika, bhautika, adi bhautika, adhyatmika, and adi bhautika, all the 3, body, mind, and spirit. So there will be some sorrows here and there. So this Bhagavad Gita shows the way as to get rid of this moha. So it also teaches to how to lead our lives, how to face situations in society. So even the Lord teaches Arjuna, who is confused and depressed in the battlefield, about his duties as a Kshatriya. Actually, as a Kshatriya, he has to fight in the war. But at this moment, he gives up his arms and says, I don't want to fight. So, and the first answer, so after hearing all the woes and difficulties of Arjuna in the 2nd chapter, Lord Krishna says, Kudastva kashmanamidam vishame samupastitam Anaryajustam asvargyam akirtim karam Arjuna. So he says, my dear Arjuna, how has the delusion overcome you in this hour of peril? It is not befitting as an honorable person. It leads not to the higher abodes, but to disgrace, he says. He actually condemns. He gives a death blow to Arjuna, telling that it is not right at this moment. Also he says, Klaibyam smagama partha naitatya upadyate. Should that he had pura tapa and paschatapa. Pura tapa because he don't want to kill the enemies. He don't want to kill his kith and kin. So he actually wants to get rid of this war. And that's why it's called pura tapa. And after the war also, he thinks of what happens after the war, when everybody is killed and the war comes to an end. He feels very bad. So that's why he says, I don't want to wage a war. Then Krishna starts telling about the temporary nature of the body and how the body changes. Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya navani grinnati naro parani tata sharirani vihaya jirnan anyani sanyati navani dehi. As a person sheds worn out garments and wears new ones, likewise at the time of death, the soul casts off its worn out body and enters a new one. He says, just as changing dress, man has to leave his body, he says. Also Lord says, Nainam chindanti shastrani, means the weapons do not kill the soul. Nainam dahati pavakaha, not even the wind will not topple it. Fire cannot burn it, water cannot moisten it, and wind cannot dry it. The soul can never be cut into pieces by any weapon, not fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by wind. Even wind also do not blow. That means soul is permanent. Soul is always joyful. And also he says about the doing duty, karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalaheturbuh mahate sangostva karmani. In Karnataka we have a great man called Vasanta who was telling as kayakave kailasa, our work is worship. You have a right to perform your prescribed duties, but you are not entitled to the fruits of your actions. Never consider yourself to be the cause of the results of your activities, nor be attached to inaction. So Basavana was a man of action, karma yoga, ideal example. One more karma yogi is our founder president Navanihal. We call him as Reverend Anna. He was a karma yogi. He says he was actually preached and practiced. A karma yogi discards all his choices. Means he has no selfish desires. Karma yoga is skill in action. Yoga karmasu koshalam, means doing action is yoga without any attachment, without any desires. So such a person is eligible to gain knowledge. Madhya Narayan Bhatt actually lived for that. And here are very great persons like Bhagawan Buddha, Ramana Maharshi and all, who actually attained self-realization. They are realized souls. So that is what is taught in Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga is one which tells about the knowledge of the soul. So the knowledge comes as a key to liberation. Thus knowing his true self is liberated then and there. He is called Sthita Prajna. So by Lord Krishna. And what are the characteristics of a Sthita Prajna? There are of course more than 25 characteristics. One of them is he is always content by himself. Prajahati yadakam sarvan patam manogatan atmanye vatmana tushtaha sthita prajnasta dochyate. Content by himself. And is not distressed by difficult situations. Has his mind and senses under control. And yada samharate chayam kurmongani va sarvashaha indriyani indriyarthebhyaha tasya prajna pratishtita. So just like the tortoise, I think most of you have seen tortoise, and this tortoise is its back is so hard, but its limbs are so soft, legs and limbs. So what does it do? Any danger it comes, immediately it draws all its limbs inside. So one who is able to withdraw the senses, like the tortoise, from their objects, just as a tortoise withdraws its limbs to its shell, is established the divine wisdom. So, for example, Swami Vivekananda, and he also lived as a Sthita Prajna. And one more important message Lord Krishna gives to Arjuna is about Dhyayato Vishayan Punsaha Sangasteshu Pajayate Sanga Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodho Bijayate. While contemplating on the objects of the senses, one develops attachment to them. Attachment leads to desires, and from desires arises anger. Here you can give example of Ramayana. From Ramayana, and Sita, Mother Sita, got attracted by the deer. Actually, that was Maricha, as all of us know. So she was attracted by the color and beauty of the deer. So he gets attachment to it. Dhyayato Vishayan Punsaha Sangas Teshu Pajayate. She wanted to get it. And when it was not got, Kamat Krodho Bijayate. Krodhat Bhavati Sammohaha. She wanted to possess it. Sammohat Smriti Vibhramaha. Smriti Brahmshat Buddhinasho Buddhinashat Pranashyati. Anger leads to clouding of judgment, which results in bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, the intellect got destroyed. And when the intellect is destroyed, one is ruined. So what happened to Sita? Because of her attachment to a deer, Rama went to, as per her request, he went to kill that Maricha. And by that time he calls Lakshmana also. So Lakshmana also goes there. And in the process, Sita was caught by Ravana, and she has to suffer a lot for that. So living in harmony with Mother Nature, contributing to ecological balance, is also Karma Yoga. So this most of us have. I think most of you have the habit of developing or growing trees. So what Bhagavad Gita is told by Krishna, it applies to Mother Nature also. So we have to grow trees. For us to breathe properly, for us to live happily in the life, we have to grow more trees. We have to save water. And one more thing is, for getting rain in time, yajnartat karmananyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartam karma kaunteya mukta sanga samacharaha. Performing yajna yagas, because whatever offering we give for the yajna and yagas, that gives us rain in the proper time. So work done must be done as a yajna. So before our studies, before our any action, we have to offer it as an offering to God. Then it will be called as yajna. So in yajna also we have seen the Ritviks and the priests, where they offer so many things like ghee and rice and all other things, just to please the devatas or God. So in turn, what the devatas do? They will shower rain in proper time. They will give good food also. So also, if you offer our all duties into the lotus feet of the Lord, we also will get a lot of blessings. So therefore, O son of Kunti, for the satisfaction of God, perform your prescribed duties without being attached to results. Lord says, without attachment to the results, you must do your duties. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swanishtitat swadharmam nidana shreyaha paradharmo bhayavaha. So essence of karma yoga is better to perform one's natural prescribed duty, though tinged with faults, than to perform another's prescribed duty, though perfectly. In fact, it is preferable to die in the discharge of one's duty than to follow the path of another, which is fraught with danger. For example, Janaka Maharaj is a very ideal karma yogi. Even though he was a king of Mithila, He was not attached to that Mithila because he knew very well it is all God's grace. I got this. And also he goes to Shukamaha Muni and prays for the Vedic knowledge. So he had full detachment. Even though he was a king and he was enjoying all pleasures, he was fully detached. He was an ideal karma yogi. And one more important feature of a karma yogi and great people of the world, yadyada charati shreshtaha tatta deve taro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokas tadanu vartate. Whatever actions great persons perform, common people also follow. Whatever standards they set, all the world pursues. For example, Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, he was the Kali Yuga avatar after Shirdi Sai Baba, showed by practice, and love all, serve all was his message. And he has shown from morning till night in the service of the people and loving thousands and thousands of people all over the world. In the line of Bhagavan Sathya Sai Baba, now he has Sadguru Madhusudan Sai, who is also following his master's voice. And he is showing by example how to do all actions without detachment and without desires. And for such people, they will be in a Brahmic stage. So all our food you have to offer it to God. Then it become prasadam. For example, Brahmarpanam, what is chanted in our Gurukulas. Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi Brahmagno Brahmana Hutam Brahmaivatena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. For those who are completely absorbed in God consciousness, the oblation is Brahman. So Arpana is Brahma. The ladle with which it is offered is also Brahman. The act of offering is Brahman. And the sacrificial fire is also Brahman. Such persons who view everything as God easily attain Him. So Aham Brahma, Sarvam Brahma. So one more sloka that we usually chant while taking food. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashitaha Prana Pana Samayuktaha Pachamyannam Chaturvidam. It comes in Purushottama Prapti Yoga, 14th sloka. And it tells that it is I who take the form of the fire of digestion in the stomachs of all living beings and combine with the incoming and outgoing breaths to digest, assimilate the four kinds of food. The food which is liquid, hard substance, licking substance, and tasty substances. So, and one more thing is we have to follow by an example. We have to be example to others. The right kind of approach to elders. Tadviddi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarsinaha. Even Shirdi Baba's life also we can see. There will be a devotee who comes and falls at his feet and he asks for the Brahmajnana or Atma Sakshatkara. We have to surrender to Guru. Learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire him from with reverence and render service unto him. Such an enlightened saint can impart knowledge into you because he has seen the truth. So, but you have to ask question again and again. Pariprashnena sevaya. Until you are convinced, we have to ask question. So, for a rise and fall, who is responsible? Uddared atmanatmanam atmanam avasadayet atmaiva hyatmano bandhuhu atmaiva ripuratmanaha. Elevate yourself through the power of your mind and not degrade yourself, for the mind can be the friend and also the enemy of the self. So what our Upanishad says, Uttishtata Jagrata Prapya Varan Nibodata. Arise, awake, stop not till the goal is reached. Said Swami Vivekananda. He was a ideal disciple of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. And by approaching or by practice of yoga, Sarvabhutastamatmanam Sarvabhutani Chatmani Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadharshinaha. A true yogi, uniting their consciousness with God, see with equal eyes all living beings in God and God in all living beings. So, for example, we have in Rishikesh, there is a Paramatma Niketan ashram. You can see the sadhu and sadhvi, and they are all yogis. Even though they are in the world, they are not attached to the world. And Paramahamsa Yogananda, another great yogi, and Lahari Mahashaya, and Ramana Mahasi, Swami Shivananda, and they are all yogis. Even though they lived in the world, they are detached to the world, and they are always in the Atmic bliss. And Arjuna, question master Arjuna will be asking question. Here one more beautiful question, which all of us also will have. Chanchalam himana Krishna pramati balavadridam tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram. He asks a genuine question. Oh Krishna, you are telling so many things, great things. I appreciate you. But I have got a monkey in my mind. And the mind is very restless, turbulent, strong, and obstinate. Oh Krishna, it appears to me that it is more difficult to control than the wind. Vayoreva suduskaram. Just like wind, it is very difficult to control the mind, he says. Then our, master of masters, Lord Krishna, what he says? He says, Asamshayam Mahabahu. Oh Arjuna, it is no doubt what you are telling is correct. Mind is difficult to control. Mano Durnigraham Chadam. Oh mighty armed son of Kunti, what you say is correct. The mind is indeed very difficult to restrain. But Abhyasenut Kaunteya, by practice and detachment, Vairagena cha grihyate. By practice and detachment, it can be controlled, says Lord Krishna. So you must have the art of letting go. And also, sometimes, you have to hold on. And so we have to control the mind by practice. Everything, example, cycling, it comes by practice. Swimming or climbing a tree, all this comes by practice. Even computer learning, everything comes by practice. And also Vairagya, you must know that everything is temporary. So one more thing, then Lord says, who can attain the highest? Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschidadati siddhaye yatatamati siddhadhanam kaschinmam veti tattvataha. So amongst men, amongst thousands of persons, hardly one strives for perfection. Amongst those who achieve perfection, hardly one knows me in truth, he is the Lord. So manishyatvam mumukshatvam mahajana samshreyaha. So in that, getting human birth itself is great. Out of thousands of birth, we are getting human birth. And out of those human birth also, 1 in 1,000, means very, very rare persons will really achieve the goal. So we have to become 1 in 1,000 like that. And for that, what you must do? One of the sadhana, what we can do is, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manusmara yudhyacha mayarpitamano buddhihi Mame Vaishya Samshayam. So Lord says, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu. Therefore, always remember me and also do your duty of fighting the war. With mind and intellect surrender to me. You will definitely attain me. Of this, there is no doubt. So Namasmarana is one amongst the best of sadhana. Hanuman was the best example who became God himself. He is worshipped all over the globe as a God himself because of his continuous Hath mein Kam, Man mein Ram. I am reminded of one Hindi song, and जो तू मिटाना चाहे जीवन के तृष्णा सुबह शाम बोल बंदे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा सुबह शाम बोल बंदे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा. So chanting Lord's name both morning and evening, not only morning, evening, whenever time is there, that becomes Namasmarana. That is something which makes us, nearer and nearer to God. So in the Bhakti Yoga, there are about 25 characteristics of a devotee. And one of the nature of the devotee is Ananya Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Pariupasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. See, we have got thousands of devotees in India who always remember God. There are those who always think of me and engage in exclusive devotion to me. To them whose minds are always absorbed in me, I provide what they lack and preserve what they already possess. You have heard about Kuchela, how he was blessed by Lord Krishna. He forget himself to ask why he has come. We have got Namdev, Ramdas, Samartha Ramdas, Mirabai, and Kanakadas, Purandaradas, Tulsidas, so many. There are thousands of devotees. And one more is Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati Tadaham Bhaktyupaharutam Ashnami Prayatatmanaha. So, if one offers to me with devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or even water, I delightedly partake of them. An item offered with love by my devotee in pure consciousness. What God expects is not flower or fruit or tulsi. All he expects is devotion. For example, Shabri, she brought all kinds of fruits and she tasted it and gave to Rama. Of course, Lakshmana was a bit upset by seeing her action. But Rama says, look at her feelings and how devotedly she gives. And of course, she meets her end. After seeing Rama and Lakshmana, she feels extremely happy. And that is a kind of devotion we can see. We have thousands of such examples in India and also in abroad, where devotion has given them moksha. And there is one very sacred sloka in the Bhagavad Gita that tells about Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhavad Yugat Uddita Yadi Bhas Sadrishi Sa Syadhyastasya Mahatmanaha. It tells us about that the Lord who has, if thousands of sun were to blaze forth together in the sky, they would not match the splendor of that great form. So it's so much powerful. So when you say Lord, he is not one sun, he is thousands of sun. You can remember one incident from Mahabharata, this Second World War, where Robert Oppenheimer, after the bomb blast in Hiroshima, he quotes this and next sloka also, telling that thousands, the bomb explosion was like that, the thousands of suns has glittered there, and also a lot of smoke also produced. He becomes mad after that. And after that incident, even the Albert Einstein, who gave the formula E is equal to mc square, he threw away all the science books and says, I don't want to continue with science. because he felt very bad. Science without humanity is useless, he says. The same thing you can see in Purusha Suktam also. Om Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha Sahasraksha Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishwato Vritva Atyatishtat Dashangulam Sahasra Shirsha Purusha. That Purusha is having thousands of heads, thousands of eyes, thousands of ears, and his feet is everywhere. And the greatness of the Lord is told, and that is and who is a real devotee? The nature of devotee, more than 25 are there in this 12th chapter, and from 13th sloka to 20th sloka. One of them is very, very sweet. Advesta sarva bhutanam maitra karnaye vacha nirmamo nirahankaraha samadukka sukakshami. Those devotees are very dear to me, who are free from malice towards all living beings, who are friendly. Maitraha means friendly, and karuna evacha means compassionate. They are free from attachment to possessions and egotism, and they are equipoised in happiness and distress, and ever forgiving. So like that, there are so many slokas are there. And one more thing we can find about the goodness, what you have developed. You can say human values. Today's our seminar is also on human values. So actually the human values here. Amanitvam adambitvam ahimsa kshantirarjavam acharyo pasanam shaucham stairyam atma vinigraha. Humbleness. Amanitvam means humbleness, humility. When Hanuman goes to Ravana's palace, he asks, Ravana asks him, who are you? He says, Dasoham Kausalendrasya. I am a humble devotee. He was a Mahajnani, Mahaparakrami. But he says, I am a humble devotee. And a devotee will be freedom from hypocrisy, non-violence. So these are some of the qualities of a, and he is having non-violence, forgiveness, simplicity, service of the Guru, cleanliness of body and mind, steadfastness, and self-control. And these are the qualities of the seeker of truth. So these are instrumental in gaining Atmajnana. Atmajnana means by knowing which everything is known. Not only in India, even in other countries also. Great people like Socrates were all Atmajnanis. So, and here about Sattva Raja Tama Guna is told. And amongst these, Sattva Guna, the mode of goodness being purer than the other is illuminating and full of well-being. O sinless one, means Arjuna he calls. It binds the soul by creating attachment for a sense of happiness and knowledge. So here there are three gunas which binds one and all. One is Sattva Guna. Sattva Guna, what you call as Satvika Guna. And we can take the example from Ramayana. In Ramayana, we come across with the three women. They are faced by Lord Rama. First woman he kills off. That is Tataki. Was an example of Tamo Guna. Second one is Ahalya, who was in the form of a stone. By the touch of the lotus feet of Rama, she becomes Ahalya there. And he transforms her. And lastly, Sita, daughter of Janaka Maharaja, he accepts her, Sattva Guna. So we have to accept Sattva, we have to transform Rajo, and we have to kill our Tamas. So what does the Rajo Guna do? Oh Arjuna, Rajo Guna is of the nature of passion. It arises from the worldly desires and affection and binds the soul to attachment and fruitive actions. So you have to get rid of that, or you have to reduce these desires. Also Tamo Guna. We can take one more example from Ramayana only. Vibhishana stands for Sattva Guna, and Ravana stands for Rajo Guna, and Kumbhakarna stands for Tamo Guna. O Arjuna, Tamoguna, which is born of ignorance, is the cause of illusion for the embodied souls. It dilutes all living beings through negligence, laziness, and sleep. So Kumbhakarna was sleeping for 6 months, it is told. 6 months only awake. So to wake him up in that 6 months was very difficult when he was in fast sleep. So the Sattva, Raja, and Tamo Guna are very dangerous. So, and all these three qualities are necessary in living our lives. So the 24 hours of a day can be roughly divided into 3 parts of 8 hours each. Morning 4 a.m. to 8 a.m., evening 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. is called Sattvika Kala. It's good for studies, prayer, and other finer activities. And from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., we have Rajasika period. And that is for the office work, for school work, and all our karma yoga. And 8 p.m. to 4 a.m., that is Tamasika period, which is meant for inertia or sleep and rest. And so in the last but 16th chapter, you have got a very interesting shloka which tells about again some more human values. Abhayam sattva samshuddhihi, arjanam yoga stitihi, danam damascha yajnascha, swadhyaya stapa arjavam. O son of Bharat, O son of Bharat, these are the saintly virtues of those endowed with the divine nature: fearlessness, purity of mind, steadfastness in spiritual knowledge, charity, control of the senses, sacrifice, and study of the sacred books, austerity, forward, and so on. So that is told in the 16th chapter about the Daivi gunas one has to develop, and even you have to get rid of some of the asuri gunas, dambo, darpo, abhimanascha, the qualities of those who possess demonic nature are hypocrisy, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. So all these asuri gunas should be left, and divine qualities you have to develop, Daivi gunas, and it leads us to moksha. So demonic qualities leads us to bondage, following which one become again and again you have to be born to lokas. As Shankaracharya says, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani, yatare shayanam, iya samsare khaladustare, kripaya pare, pahimurare. So we have to get rid of the cycle of birth and death. And there are 3 dwaras for Trividam Narakasedam, Dwaram Nashanam Atmaha, Kamaha, Krodha, Tata Lobaha, Tasma Tratrayam Tejet. So 3 gates of hell of destruction, so self-destruction, that is lust, anger, and greed. So one should abandon all these 3. So there are very good types of sattvika food, sattvika yajna, sattvika dana, sattvika tapas, and all this. And if it is done with the sattvic feelings, that will lead us to the goal. And in the last chapter on Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, there is a very sacred shloka. Nasto mohaha smriti labdva traptva tvattva prasadam anyamachyuta stitosmi gata sandehaha karishye vachanam tava. Karishye vachanam tava is one of the clarion calls that Arjuna gives after seeing the Vishwarupa of the Lord. Actually, there is a very sacred shloka called Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga, wherein he looks at Lord in all different forms. He was wonderstruck. And then he decides, he says, O infallible one, by your grace, that is Krishna's grace, my illusion has been dispelled, and I am situated in knowledge. I am now free from doubts, and I shall act according to your instructions. I will follow whatever you say, he says. There is a very sacred shloka which all of us can also practice. And we have a good example of Sadguru Madhusudan Sai, who followed the words of his Guru, Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, following his vision. and mission forward, now starting in Muddenahalli and in all over the world. So thank you very much for the golden chance given to us for tell about the human values of Bhagavad Gita. It is only a very, very small drop of it, because it is like an ocean. The message of Bhagavad Gita is like an ocean. Now I would like to hear from you, your viewpoints on this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We are very grateful for you. Time for question and answer session. If anyone has questions, now you can please ask.
Good afternoon, Sai Ram. My name is hello.
Yes, sir, you can ask the question.
Yeah, my name is Venkata
Yes.
Subramanian Ganapati from Chennai.
Yes, sir.
In Bhagavad Gita, explained about Vibhuti Yoga. So Vibhuti Yoga. So normally Vibhuti means ash.
Yes.
So what is the real meaning of it? It comes in the 10th chapter.
Yes. Vibhuti Yoga, the greatness of the Lord is told. Among the rivers, I am the Ganges. Among the men, I am Partha. Like that, all the greatness have been told. Devotees will put, as because just show the impermanence of all the creation here. But in the Bhagavad Gita, the greatness of the Lord is told. I did not touch upon it because it is not concerned with the human values. Because it is a vast ocean. Bhagavad Gita is a vast ocean.
Yeah.
And there are so many meanings for the word Vibhuti. Here, as you say, it is also there. And actually in Bhagavad Gita, the different meaning is there. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Nice explanation.
Any other question? Yes, please. Yes, louder.
Now we have
Any questions?
Now we have some of our participants who will share their experiences. First, we have Girivardhan from Vedic Studies from Sri Sai University for Human Excellence. Over to Girivardhan.
Sai Ram sir, from all our side, our gratitudes to you for such a wonderful, insightful session on Bhagavad Gita. Though we are learning Bhagavad Gita on a daily basis, today it was wonderful because in less than 1 hour, you took us through the complete Gita, from where Arjuna started with his dilemma and how Krishna beautifully explained what is the true nature of a man who is established in his knowledge, that is Sthita Prajna, and how one must approach all the difficulties, challenges that comes in our life like a hero and not fear and run away from it, and how we can act without any attachments and give up the attachment to the karma as well as the karma phala, which is very important, by doing which we'll be successful always.
Yes.
And then you also explained how we can offer our devotional service towards the Lord, that is by being anapeksha, without desiring anything, and always being happy by whatever we get as prasada bhava. And ultimately you told that we should lead our lives with the clarion call of Arjuna, that is Karishye Vachanam Tava, giving the reins of our lives to the Sanatana Sarathi, that is Krishna, and he shall take us to the ultimate goal, that is the moksha or Atmajananm. Thank you very much, sir. It was inspiring to all of us.
Sai Ram.
Very thankful for Girivardhan for his beautiful sharing of his experience.
Anybody else?
Sai Ram, sir.
Sai Ram.
This is Meenakshi from this side. I have read Bhagavad Gita. I have heard Bhagavad Gita, and we are teaching Bhagavad Gita. But today within like 40 minutes time, sir has taken a very good stand on Bhagavad Gita because typical Bhagavad Gita. It's really wonderful. And I told two of my students, those who are joining and doing dissertation on Bhagavad Gita, to join today and listen to you, sir, because I knew that you have been practicing human values from day one till now. So hearing Bhagavad Gita and human values from you is really a pleasure. Sir, this is an opportunity for all of us. We are really lucky to have you and listen from you, and we will expect that, sir, some more time whenever you get time or we get time, you please enlighten us. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sai Ram, myself Dr. Ranjana Seth from Vasanta College for Women, Rajghat. Sir, your way of presentation and your way of speaking about the Gita was excellent, sir. And when we read it and when I heard from you, there was a lot of things that got clarified on my mind. So thank you so much, sir. And we would like to listen to you furthermore, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Sai Ram.
Now, I request Trupti from Vasanta College of Women to share her experience.
I think, sir, she couldn't join. Her side from network problem is there. You can move forward.
Okay, ma'am. First, I would like to thank the organizers and all conveners of this workshop. Special thanks to Dr. Meenakshi Biswal ma'am, Chief Convener of this workshop, on behalf of Vasanta College of Women and Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence. My heartfelt gratitude to today's renowned speaker, Dr. Ramurthy sir. We are very much inspired and we are very grateful for you, sir. Thank you, sir. My special thanks to the student of Vasanta College and Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence and those who shared their experiences. I thank all participants, those who have attended this workshop virtually from various places. Thank you once again for one and all. We will conclude this workshop by saying the Shanti Mantra. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Samasta loka sukhino
bhavantu. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti.
Sai Ram. So, we are concluding today's program, and tomorrow, same time, 2:30, we'll start. And tomorrow's topic is Ramayana and Bhagavad Gita. Ramayana and human values. Thank you.
Thank you, boys, for your cooperation.